Equivalent exchange. I'll give half of my life to you if you give half of your life to me. This line wraps up one of the greatest anime love stories ever written, which is fitting since it is from one of the best anime ever made, Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. But first, this video is sponsored by NordVPN. Browsing the internet is more dangerous than ever before due to how advanced hackers have gotten over the years. It takes only a few unlucky moments and an unprotected network for your information to fall into nefarious hands. Luckily, NordVPN's got your back. Nord's state-of-the-art encryption allows you to browse the internet anywhere with the comfort of knowing that your information is secured. With Nord, you can watch your favorite shows in a coffee shop, at the airport, or on any public network without worrying that your data could be accessed by malicious parties. For fans of anime and other great TV shows, NordVPN can help you watch those shows that are locked in your region with over 6,000 global VPN servers across over 100 countries. Click on the link in my description now to get an exclusive NordVPN deal plus 4 months extra. Keep yourself safe from threats while watching what you want whenever you want with NordVPN at your side. And now, back to the video. Let's start by talking about why Winry rocks at being a love interest. Simply put, the story didn't reduce her to being just a love interest for Ed. Shocker! Who knew that making your female character into an actual character instead of being a love-struck cardboard cutout waifu would make her actually compelling? One of the best things that Hiromu Arakawa, the author of Fullmetal Alchemist, does is creating a fully fleshed out cast of characters where everyone has an important role to play in the overarching story. Not only that, but every single character, especially the female characters, have the depth and nuance to them that makes them feel three-dimensional. Risa Hawkeye isn't just a sharpshooter but also the voice of reason that tames Mustang's flames. Izumi Curtis is more than simply a housewife but one of the most powerful alchemists in the entire series. Olivia Mira Armstrong reminds us that strength and leadership are not solely male traits. In the case of Winry Rockbell, she showed us that taking up the support role doesn't mean that you have to disappear into the background and fade into obscurity until your services are needed by the protagonist. While it is true that Winry is a support character, this in no way diminishes her role in the plot both on and off the battlefield. This is what makes her relationship with Edward Elric so much more impactful because we get an appropriate amount of screen time to fall in love with her personality and charm just as Ed does. Winry is the only person capable of going blow for blow against Edward's short king rage. Their banter really clues us in on the years of history that these two have had together. We see them go through the full emotional spectrum with each other throughout the story, but the end result was always love. My favorite aspect of their relationship is how natural and casual their love feels. Romance in shonen anime often don't develop at such a natural pace and often sacrifices the gradual development of a romantic relationship for a shallow love at first sight or he saved me so I love him now trope. These narratives rob the audience of moments where we witness two characters truly connect and learn why they actually fell for each other on a thematic level. Love is a complicated emotional process that can't be boiled down into quick and cheap moments. Winry and Ed really feel like two teenagers who are trying to figure out why they love each other. It takes Winry years to realize that the reason she is so passionate and hot-headed around Ed is because of how much she cares about him. For Edward, his stubbornness and pride prevented him from accepting the fact that he loves Winry until the very end of the series. Their immaturity makes their love feel more clunky and realistic and draws on those nostalgic feelings of having childhood crushes growing up. Even their big confession scene was simultaneously very awkward and very sweet. It also helps that Winry is treated with respect by the author and her presence on screen isn't just reduced to cute romantic scenes, even though those scenes are very adorable. Before we are even introduced to Winry in the story, we feel her presence every single time we look at Ed's automail limbs. Edward's automail represents many things within the story: sacrifice, pain, resilience, but for Winry, they represent her love and compassion. Winry always gets upset at Ed for damaging his automail, and on a surface level it reads as a mechanic being upset at something they worked on, but on a deeper level, every single time that Winry sees Ed's damaged limbs, it reminds her that Ed is continuing to put himself in danger as a state alchemist. And this breaks her heart. Nobody understands the pain of the Elric brothers more than Winry. Since they were children, Winry was the one keeping the two of them sane after they lost their bodies. When Ed and Al set off to get their bodies back, she felt powerless knowing that there is nothing she can do further to help them. But instead of doing nothing, she aimed to become the best mechanic she can be so that she can, in some way, continue to support them through their painful journey. As long as Ed has his automail on him, Winry is always with the brothers. Whenever Ed uses his metal limbs to win a fight, it's as if Winry is there helping them on the battlefield. Winry is never shown as being lesser than the Elrics because she couldn't use alchemy or fight. Without her unique talent and skills, the brothers would have never gotten their bodies back in the first place. Winry and Ed's fates are intertwined through Ed's missing limbs, and without her, he wouldn't be able to function. Even after the story ends, Ed still continues to use an automail leg, bonding him and Winry forever. In a way, Winry completes him. What's also great about this relationship is that they didn't just end up together because the story needed a romantic ending. Ed and Winry had to grow with each other and learn why the other was so important to them. Edward's growth as a character was centered on his selfish and naive obsession with fixing the past. This started when he wanted to bring his mom back and continued as he and Alphonse hunted down the Philosopher's Stone. Even during their journey, Ed was still holding on to the belief that somehow they could still bring their mom back. And he was so narrowly focused on righting the wrongs of the past that he ignored everything in front of him. Even the childhood friend who was in love with him and whom he loved back for most of his life. Edward wasn't able to act on this mutual romantic tension between him and Winry until the end of the story, when he had finally learned to accept the past and move into the future with a heart made Fullmetal. We see a physical representation of this maturity throughout the story with Ed's insecurity about his height. Even though it was a physical gag that was played for laughs, Ed's height is a signifier of his own mental maturity. As he learns more and more about the nuances and horrors of alchemy, meets his father, and learns about the true nature of the Philosopher's Stone, his Napoleon complex fades away and he actually grows a few inches by the end of the story. We can even see in the Return to Risen Bull that Ed is now taller than Winry when he used to be shorter than her. He had grown both physically and as a person. Winry, on the other hand, is nothing but selfless, the complete opposite of Ed's character flaw. She also lost her parents and didn't go to use human transmutation to try to bring them back. The reason she needs Ed in her life is to help her realize her own potential. Her whole role in the story is contingent on her giving life to others. Winry was the one who delivered the baby in Rush Valley. She was the one who kickstarted Scar's redemption arc, and she was the one who gave Ed a second chance at life by giving him his automail. Winry breaks the rule of equivalent exchange by always giving and never receiving. This policy of absolute selflessness is what made Ed crack up at her response to his proposal. "Why don't I give you all of my life?" were her words in response to Ed proposing a half and half. That line came out of her as naturally as breathing. Winry is someone who will always give everything of herself to those she loves without needing or expecting anything in return. Because to her, if you love someone, you love them completely. Edward needed Winry to keep him grounded, and Winry needed Ed to lift her off the ground. Their relationship, like everything else in Fullmetal Alchemist, obeys the law of equivalent exchange. Thank you all so much for watching the video. Let me know in the comments down below what your thoughts are on Ed and Winry's relationship and Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood as a whole. And as always, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you next time with more lukewarm takes.